Hey, Laura and Rob, how are you?
Hey, hey.
Hello, I'm very well. How about you?
I am excellent. Love the salute for a Wednesday afternoon. It is International Women's Day today. Whoop, whoop. And I just got goosebumps. And my focus today with my purple pen is all about courage and confidence and what it actually means to each of you. And I know Rob has a 16-year-old, I have a 12-year-old, and Laura's going to share her experience of growing up being an introvert, of learning how to really lean into confidence and courage. So Laura, what does it actually mean to you to have?
Yeah, so I have no kids, but for me as a 5-year-old, I was like petrified. I was so shy. I was born an introvert through and through that the teacher would ask me to stand up and answer the question. I remember, stand up and answer. And I would just freak out, shut down and not say a word. So she told my mom that I had learning difficulties, the whole thing. I went into special education class, the whole thing. And it's just confidence, They tried to say that I was autistic and the whole thing, but it's just like, no, you just pushed a young girl who was petrified to get the answer wrong. So I would just shut down. So that was me. But my mum, thank goodness, she understood me and she put me into acting class because she knew it was just confidence. She pulled me out of that school, put me into another school. And from then on, I just flew. I really thrived in an environment where it was all congratulations and supportive environment where you would get up in the space and just creatively play. And for me, acting just, I would not be here today speaking with Rob and the gorgeous Alexis because that's how introverted I was. Now you probably will class me as an extrovert, and I've built businesses and I've been in the performing arts industry and I've done a lot. And yeah, all because of thanks to Mum, knew that I was just shy. So.
Well done, Mum.
Yeah.
Well done.
Thanks, Mum. Love you.
Yeah.
Shout out to the mums.
And I think shout out to the mums and shout out to all the women, but also shout out to the dads. But I also think that, our parents only know what they know and teach us what they think that we need. And you are so blessed and great and lucky that you had a mum that put you into that. And I'm one of 4 girls, and I was put through dancing, tap dancing, hip hop, jazz, ballet, like all of the things, singing. Not that I can sing. Mum spent a lot of money on private singing lessons. Just saying.
Shout out to Mum.
The hours for that, right?
Ask Zoe, my daughter, what mummy's singing's like, and she goes, "Yeah, I don't know that was well spent money, Nanny." But it is. It's such a powerful thing to be able to teach young people, boys or girls, how to have confidence. And Rob, what's your take on courage and confidence in this current world and bringing up a daughter as well?
Yeah, it's a good question. And I'm so glad that Laura raised her injuries as a child. And you were injured psychologically by those teachers who were just too insensitive to recognize that people have different ways of learning. So I want to take a little bit of a different tack here for you. Put your hand up if you like mathematics.
I did in high school.
Yeah.
I loved it in high school.
There, I put my hand up, lower my hand. Even Zoom knows that I like mathematics, right? It raises my hand for me in the room there as well. So I want to lower my hand. There it is. It's lower. I went back to where I was. The reason I asked that, right, is probably 9 out of 10 people that you ask that are the same age as you would say to you, no, I don't like mathematics. What has mathematics got to do with courage and confidence? Actually, everything. Because early on, when we're children, when we're taught mathematics, what happens is you suffer from what's known as a mathematics injury. Yeah, because in mathematics, you're either right or you're wrong. And the curriculum marches on at such a pace for a young person that the teacher goes up and explains what we're going to learn today. They pop it up on the blackboard or the whiteboard, they demonstrate it, then they give you the exercises to do it. And there's an expectation that by the end of that 40-minute lesson, you've assimilated the knowledge how to do a simultaneous equation or some version of calculus or some difficult thing that you've never encountered before that has no relevance to your current life, that you don't know how it's going to be used in the future. And most people just throw their hands up and go, it's all too hard. And they've suffered from a mathematics injury. So now, from now on, whenever they encounter something to do with mathematics, or Microsoft Excel or Google Sheets. They're all just like, it's all too hard. I'll just get somebody else to do that. And that's happened when they were a very, very young person. I can tell you that when I was younger, I had some really good mathematics teachers. And my dad was a tradesman. My dad was a toolmaker by trade who was replaced by CNC machines. But as a toolmaker, you had to be good at mathematics. You had to be good at drawing things and technical drawings and reading technical drawings. So I remember as a young guy, my dad helping me with mathematics. So even though I didn't understand at school, my dad understood and was patient enough with me to help me to get there. So now as a grown adult, I've always enjoyed things to do with math. I've always enjoyed numbers. I suffered a mathematics injury when I was younger, but I knew and recognized that through repetition and the building of competency that I developed the confidence to tackle just about any mathematical problem. So now I have competency, I have confidence, I have the courage to actually give that a go. And it's okay if I'm wrong, because I've gone past that younger part, that impressionable part of my life where the mathematics injury has passed. I recognize that it's not an injury, it's just a mistake. And I think part of the problem that we have in the modern world is in social media, everybody is cheering everybody else on. Go, go, I'm so proud of your success. Go, go, I'm so proud of your success. But you're so busy cheering everybody else on, you're forgetting that you should be the person having a crack yourself. And for some reason, people don't have the confidence or the courage to dive in themselves, but they're happy to cheer on everybody else, and life is passing you by. So don't be afraid to get a mathematics injury. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Don't be afraid to do those things, because part of growing as a person is making mistakes. Nobody that's ever achieved anything worthwhile has ever done that first time. It's rare to have beginner's luck and to get all the way to the end in the first round. Novak Djokovic never got to be a world champion or to win a Grand Slam tennis tournament the first time he tried. Imagine how many tournaments he played in when he was a kid. Imagine how many he lost. Imagine how many ups and downs and the disappointments that guy faced. But now he walks out on there and he's so confident because his competency level is so high that he has the courage to try and win this championship and go again for another round. And you could say the same of any elite athlete, any elite business person, and any normal person that has developed a level of competency to have the confidence and the courage to have a crack at something.
Oh, so good. And know that, I know we spoke about this before we started recording, know that where you are and what stage you're at, because, when we're looking at everyone else, we're comparing ourselves to them and we're like, oh, but they've done this. And just start today at that level and then just do one thing and do one thing. Because the minute you jump in and do one thing, you get clarity on the next thing you need to do. And that way of just diving in my whole life since I was a 5-year-old has really helped me build the confidence, because I just do the one thing and I focus on that. And then because you're not so focused on yourself, you're focused on the thing that you're doing, you're not so insecure, and because you're focusing on something else, not yourself. You know what I mean? So just start at where you're at and then just know that in time it will build. So I love what you just said, Bob.
Stay in your own lane.
Yeah.
Stay in your own lane. Your journey is your journey. And my journey over the last, I'd say 24 months, I was going gangbusters in my business. And then I had a personal thing that went on that I made a conscious decision to really pull back from my business and really pull back from social media and do the things that I needed to do for me. And that really helped me dig really deep into what is it that I really want from life and really follow the things that I want to be doing. And when you are really clear on what it is that you want, you have the courage to take the step. And then the more that you do the repetition, the more confidence is going to come. And then your energy is going to shine, and people start becoming drawn to you, and things start to shift and change dramatically fast when you stay in your own lane, when you're clear on what it is that you want, and when you're kind and confident. And before we jumped on, I was saying this is a really powerful thing that I saw on Cinderella, the newer version. Again, I can't remember who the actors are in this one, but it's beautiful. Before the mum passed away, she said, have courage and be kind.
Beautiful.
And throughout the whole movie, witnessing Cinderella having confidence and having courage and being kind throughout the whole journey, even when people were being mean to her, she knew that being kind was going to get her way further than being mean because she was witnessing and watching the stepmom and the two.
Can we dive a little bit closer into something that I'm fascinated with what you just said?
You're going closer to the camera, so yes.
I know. I'm really excited. Dive in. You can see my face for it now. Just kidding.
She's ready to jump into the
yeah, I know. You just got me triggered right here with this. Courteous and kind. So remember, like, there's so many people out there that are negative, and when you're going along your journey, maybe you're doing something that they can't do, or they are kind of envious of you doing the thing. Then you find a lot of people kind of come at you with negativity, and negativity is infectious, just as positivity is too. So if you entertain the negativity, then it's kind of infectious, and then that kind of brings you down into a bit of a dark hole. So I love that you said be courageous and kind, because even if people are coming at you with negativity, you just hit it back with kindness, or just let them go and keep on moving on, because then it's not affecting, their negativity is not affecting your world, because energetics is what helps us to create a good vibe and a good creation in your world. And that's a whole nother topic. But don't allow anyone else's negativities to bring you down. Just block it out, or kill them with kindness and move on. I love that. I'm going to put that on a wall. Thank you for inspiring me.
You are very welcome. But it's interesting that we're talking about this, as you were saying that it sparked a conversation I had at lunch, and the person was saying they're really negative and they don't like me. And I'm like, yeah, but you've shifted and changed. You are now really positive and fun and really light. There's nothing dense in your energy. There used to be denseness. I've known this person for a really long time and they've done a lot of inner work. I go, but this person still has negativity and they still have this emotion connected to you, but there's something inside of you that needs to be cleared, and whatever. That's a whole other conversation for another time. But exactly what you said, negative it attracts negative, positive attracts positive. And as you're moving and growing to the new next level, there's going to be people that are going to fall off on your journey.
Yeah. I'm doing the puppetry.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull you down.
That was the sign language version of what she was saying. She was right. They were falling away as you were. I could feel the negative energy falling away from me.
Totally.
You know, there's one thing I would add to that. You know, I'm a practical person, and you know, I'm the practical man here on the call with the two ladies. One thing that I would say is, you know, it's all good and well to have these conversations and read these books and listen to these podcasts, but what can you do in practice to increase your levels of confidence and competency, and then have more courage to actually move forward? Because they're the common traits of success: confidence and courage. If you have those traits, then you'll be moving forward to whatever you define as success. You can't move forward towards your goals without those things. So one thing that I like to do, and I know that you like to do this as well, Laura, and you're guilty of this as well, Lexi, is surrounding yourself with people who have much higher standards. So there was a while there where I was surrounded by a bunch of fighter pilots, and fighter pilots are the most elite people in the military because of what they have to do, and they work in the most complicated environment that's ever been created by humans. There's nothing more complex than that. And because of that, they have this incredible ability with situational awareness to understand where they are in relation to where they need to be, but also understanding where 50 other people need to be in relation to the actual task at hand. And fighter pilots never, ever, in my experience, say good job. They never say well done, good job,
interesting,
anything like that. And I remember working with this guy for quite a while, and I was busting my chops doing all these things. And I would say that to him all the time: good job, well done, man, that was awesome, well done, great interview, great presentation, great whatever. And he'd be up on stage in front of 300 or 400 people at a time, and he was an awesome presenter. He was like on the money. And one day he pulled me aside and he said, "Hey, Rob, you don't have to say that, Rob." And I said, "Well, I'm just kind of giving you feedback, man, and that's how I feel. You know, like, I'm your mate, you're my friend. I want to encourage you. I want to give you the kudos you need when you get that. I'm just trying to be nice." And he said, "Man, fighter pilots never say good job." And I said, "Why is that?" And he said, "Because the minimum standard is that. The minimum standard is a good job. You can't do that job or operate in that environment unless your minimum standard is excellence." And I've always had a minimum standard of excellence for myself. If you're going to do something, do it properly or don't do it at all. That's a old school, old way of thinking, right? And don't don't do it half-assed. Don't even bother doing it if you're going to have that approach. So from a practical perspective, if you can surround yourself with people that have incredibly high personal standards for themselves. And what I mean by that, I look at you two women on the call here. You got your makeup done, your hair done, you're both beautiful, you look like $1 million. It's taken you some time to get to that point. You know, if you had turned up in your pajamas and your tracksuit pants looking like a shower of shit, I know that your minimum standards not excellence, right? And then I'm questioning myself, like, what the hell? What am I hanging out with these people for? So to your point, Lexi, you say that as you move forward towards your goals, and to use Laura's physical analogy, people are falling away. Those people that don't have those standards that you expect in your life will fall away. And if you are a person that accepts that shitty standard for yourself, or you accept other people have shitty standards for yourself, you're not going to really move past where you are today. And a lot of people don't have the mindfulness or the self-awareness to recognize that in themselves. And they're too nice to be saying that to the people around them. That doesn't mean you don't get to be unkind. You can be kind. You can just shut your mouth. If you've got nothing nice to say, don't say anything. But you don't need to surround yourself with people that have got poor dress codes, poor hygiene standards, poor ethics, poor morals, and are not able to level up in their life from a personal development perspective. Steer clear of it, because you're the sum of the 5 people that you hang around with the most. I did an audit of that on a daily basis in the last couple of weeks. Who did I hang out with today? Who are the 5 people? And how was my day? How was my energy? And to your point about being kind, the reason you want to be kind is because it feels good to be kind, even when somebody's mean to you. It feels good. But it equally feels terrible when you've got a big mouth and you say something nasty to somebody else as well. That's not positive energy. So that pulls them down. It pulls you down as well. It pulls everything down. Like attracts like. So why would you do that? If you haven't got anything nice to say, don't say anything at all.
But it's also, and I also feel, and energetically as you move on, and it's not about, like, there's people that are in my life and I love and adore them. I've known them for years, but I've pulled away from hanging out with them more frequently. So I see them on occasions now where it was a lot more frequently throughout the month. Now it's every couple of months that we hang out, and it's very different. So when you're hearing this, it's the sum of the 5 people that you're hanging out with. For me, when I first heard that, I'm like, oh, I don't have anyone in my life. How do I find these epic people to hang out with? And then the penny dropped. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Like, you're the ones that are there.
No, you can go find them on YouTube. Yep. You can go find them on a podcast, and they are the people that you're hanging out with. So I'm like, I'm going to go hang out with Eric Thomas today. People go, what? I'm going to hang out with Bob Proctor today. They're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I'm going to just go put myself in a room. I'm going to hang out with these people. And I'm like, I don't understand. You're going a little bit crazy pants. But they're the people that I was hanging out with. And then my real people in my real world, I'd go out and be kind and be gentle, and because they're not where I am and they don't want the things that I want, and that's okay. They can go do them. I'm going to go do me, but I'm going to protect my time and my energy and learn and hang out with the people that I want to be hanging out with.
I love that, because Alexis, that brings me to what I was going to add to this conversation. So Rob was talking about surrounding yourself with people who you would like to level up to, perhaps, in positive people that will help your confidence. And then you're talking about finding where they are, and then if you don't have them around you, go to YouTube. And I was about to say, every morning I always start my morning with positive thoughts and words, and I was like, where can I find them? YouTube. So I always listen to like an Abraham Hicks in the morning when I go walking, because it gets my mind right. And if you can master your morning, like if it's 5, 6, 7, whatever time you get up in the morning, if you can master your mind and set a good feeling for the day and a good intention, that you're going to have that go on through the rest of the day. And if someone comes to you with negative energy, or someone says no and makes you feel then you can always just step back. But you're not going to feel as bad if you're already down and feel like you started the day on a down level. You know what I mean? So the YouTube is great to find those positive affirmation sort of people. Listen to that for 10 minutes, and then your day is going to be stellar. So I'm like, don't talk to me. I haven't gone for a walk. I haven't listened to my YouTube. Like, that's literally how I start my day. So it helps with confidence.
Yeah, it really does. And when I was going through a really time, Eric Thomas, one of the best YouTube videos that I've ever seen is You Owe You. And I pretty much know every word to it. And I've got it in my headphones and I'm on the treadmill. I'm running at like level 13 or 14 or something, 15, something crazy. And I'm like, "Rah," and I'm like saying them out loud. I don't know if the people in the gym are like, she's crazy, but she's talking to herself. But it just, it's big boy masculine energy, and there is the dance between the masculine and the feminine energy, and it all depends on where you're feeling and what's going on. But I know that that's what really got me. Like, it was a slap in the face when I was being in victim mode to, okay, I need to get myself out of this mode. How do I do that? And that is the one thing. So find that one thing that is going to help you shift dramatically fast in a short period of time.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. They're good points. Maybe you girls can help me with something that I struggled with for a little while, and maybe offer some feedback on it. So I've always struggled with my head and my heart and my gut. There's really three things. It's more my gut and my head. Often I'll engage with somebody, and whether that's in business or in a personal relationship or however the engagement is going, it's the point is it's with another person, and my gut will be telling me one thing, but my heart or my head will be rationalizing it another way. And for a long time, I thought, at school, I liked maths, I liked English, I liked science and physics, and I love all of those engineering things. But it wasn't until I in my early 40s that I discovered this type of outlet, like a creative outlet. I wish when I was 5 years old, like you, Laura, somebody had exposed me to the arts, to like playing an instrument, learning music, singing, dancing, all of those things, and even acting. I think that is actually the disposition that I lean towards. And they're more heartfelt professions, because in order to do those things, you have to really be comfortable in yourself, and you have to be able to express yourself, whether that's you as an individual or you as a character or something like that. But if you're in your head, you're unable to do those things because you're worried about what other people are thinking around you. And I think one of the things that ties in perfectly to confidence and to courage is to knowing yourself, to know whether or not you can trust your gut, that that's the right thing to do in moving forward, to have the confidence to trust your gut, not to let your head rationalize and overpower what really matters. And for many years, I've overpowered my gut feeling with my brain. And every time I do that, I make a mistake. Every time without fail. If I look back at the totality of errors through my life, big, small, major, indifferent, all of the errors that I've made in my life, the mistakes I've made, is because I've over-rationalized a gut-based decision and gone, no, it'll be all right. It'll come good. But it doesn't feel right. It's not going to work out. It'll be all right. Just give it a bit like, no. And I've had this, not this devil and angel on my shoulders. I have it the other way around. It's in my gut and in my head, this back and forth like this. It's a really weird thing. And I know women are more tuned to their feelings because that's how you're built, and men are more tuned to their engineering type brain to rationalize the decisions. So what do you ladies think about that? Have you got a tip or a trick for me?
Absolutely. Can I jump in, Alexis? Is that okay with you?
Of course.
I'm like, oh, my little
I
girl.
know. Give me that. I can feel you. Let me go.
Triggered me again, Rob. No, you nailed it when you said it. We could talk about being a man and a woman and that thing, but I think it's a bigger picture that society doesn't talk about. And I love that you talked about my performing arts background, because it is true. I think through performing and acting and dancing, it really does connect you with the earth, the center of your body, and really thinking about the world and who we are. Because you're playing a character, you have to really understand humanity and what is a body and what is a spirit. And so it got me really at an early age thinking about what's the human condition. And that's what our society doesn't talk about. Well, the Western world, the other Asian cultures and stuff, they all have it like riddled into all of their learnings and teachings, but we don't talk about it. And that's another podcast, I think. But let's put it into a nutshell. What is the spirit and what is the body? Is it the same thing or is it separate? Well, you just have to look at death to answer that question. Death, even the Catholics, I'm not religious, but like even the Catholics say that when someone dies, the spirit exits the body. And so that tells me that it is a separate entity. The spirit is separate to the body. And so Yes, we have guidance within us, and this Western world that we live in is very focused on the outside world. What should we do? Our mind. What should we should think through this problem. We should think because we know all the answers to. But what we're missing out is the mind body spirit connection. And when we're more in tune with our spiritual feeling, like it's just a thought I have in my body and my whole body just tingles. Like I'm very connected in tune with my spirit because I work on it every morning with feeling good, with affirmations and then meditation and nurturing your body through fuel. And that's a whole nother thing as well. But to keep it a bit more simple and basic, your intuition is your internal guidance. The minute that we start thinking about more of the thought in the brain, that's when we do make the wrong mistakes. And it's just like teaching ourselves how to be in tune with our body and how to go with our internal gut. You said gut. Absolutely. That's the internal guidance that we all say, oh, that's magical. That doesn't exist, but it does exist. And that's how we should be guided in this life, because all you have to do when you're not sure of what direction you go in, you have to actually slow down, take a minute, go have a sleep, have a nap, or whatever it is, and then just sit in silence, and you will get those internal thoughts. But we disregard it because we're like, oh, that's not a thing. That's magical. You're crazy. All the things come out. But no, this is how we can actually truly live in internal guidance. That's where our power lives. And every day we give our power away. Sorry, that was a lot.
Yes, I know, but as you're talking, I'm getting really super excited because before we jumped on this call, yes. this is about tuning in, and I'm going to give a really practical, easy exercise for everybody, which I use on a daily basis. And it used to just be, universe, show me where my car keys are, because I used to lose my car keys all the time and I'd find them. But I found something a little bit more practical that I use with Zoe, but I need my ATM cards, and I didn't know where they both were. And I'm like, I know that there was one on my bed, and I'm sure I put it in my wallet. I've looked through my wallet for the last week, could not find it.
Because you're thinking about it, right? You're thinking.
No. Oh, no. I was like, I know that it's in here, and it's just, I was like, you know what? The universe is playing games with me. So, and this is coming into trusting your body and trusting your gut, is standing still. So you stand up, you close your eyes, you take a big deep breath, and you say, universe, give me a yes. And then your body will go either forward or backwards. Universe, give me a no. And your body will go the opposite direction. And it's so funny that I'm talking where this has come up. So I'm like, okay, universe, is one of my ATM cards, because I know both of them are in here. And so is one of them in my bedroom? Yes. Can you please guide me to it? Yes. I literally went and opened up my wallet and found it in a place I've been looking in the same place for the last 7 days. So our body knows the answer. And I do this when I want to have clients. I go, is this the right client for me? Yes or no? Yes, be patient. And then I go, do I need to be patient? Yes, you do. Okay, great. Or no, you need to lean in a little bit further and ask the question for more. So really tuning in and understanding your body and dance is amazing to connect you back into your body. And yes, we are, as spirit, having a human experience.
Yes.
And exactly what you said, Laura, it's about slowing down and focusing in on your breath. And Rob and I have had a conversation before, and I'm like, just play with this. And you play with it, you're like, oh, that worked. And I'm like, yeah, it did, because we made it fun. When you make things light and fun and a game, it shows up faster because
you're having fun. I'm just going to jump in, because you're having fun, girlfriend, because the stresses are not there. It's like your body's relaxing, and then boom, all of a sudden success or an idea or whatever. Have you ever had those moments, Rob, where it's like you get excited and you jump in, and it was the best thing you've ever done?
Often. Yeah, very often.
So that's called being inspired action, because it's like you've got a message to do a thing, and then it feels good, so it's the right thing, and then you dive in, it's like the best thing you've ever done, and everyone loved it or whatever. So that's a whole nother podcast too, isn't it?
So I think that's a normal part of the human experience, but there's another side of that happens to all of us as well, which is not well understood, but happens often. And the other side of that is, have you ever like really wanted something so badly, you know, you got to work for it and you're working for it. And then all of a sudden you're questioning your life's choices because you know how this is. So I'll give you an example, right? So for years, for the last posting that I had in the military was at the parachute school. So you'd rock up to work in the morning and say, hey, boss, what are we doing? He'd be like, what do you think, idiot? Go get a parachute. We're going skydiving. And you go skydiving 7 or 8 times a day, right? And I did that for a couple of years and it was an amazing thing. And when I left the military, I thought, oh, man, I don't need to do that anymore. I've done 400 or 500 of those things. I don't even know. I'll stop counting. And I don't want to do that. And probably about 10 years after I'd left, I thought maybe I should get back into that and do that. And then it was only just before, it was probably at the start of, it was the start of last year. It was a year ago. I finally went back to it. And I got out of the military in 2002. And here I am in 2022, 20 years later, I've decided to go back down the drop zone. I have to do my license again because it's been a long time. That's fine. It's all good. But I'm sitting in the back of the plane and I wanted this thing so badly for the last 20 years. The plane takes off and I am like hyperventilating. And I've done everything there is to do in parachuting for like, but I was like in sheer panic. And the instructor kind of like looks at me and grabs my chest straps and looks at me and he goes, breathe. And I can't hear him, right? Because the plane's so loud. He's like, breathe. Like that. And I'm like, and I'm like, what am I doing here? And I wanted this thing so badly. And all of a sudden I'm questioning my life's choices. Anyway, we get to the door, I get out, everything's okay. And over a series of jumps, I'm trying to get myself under control and I'm trying to get my breathing under control because you have this physiological reaction. My heart rate must have been like 140 if you put a heart rate monitor on me, but I'm like I'm resting. My heart is just like beating. And then probably about jump number 10, I got my breath under control, got my heart rate under control, and I could just feel the adrenaline just on the top of your kidneys, right? That's where your adrenal glands are, just coursing through my body. For some reason, and everybody that's in the plane is more experienced than me, you know, and they're all like just calm. They just look like we do now. And I'm like, what is wrong with me? Like, why can't I get this physiological thing under control? And then over a period of time, when I would drive down the M5 towards the drop zone at Picton, my heart rate would start to elevate and I could feel the adrenaline coursing through my body. And there's a couple of times driving past the drop zone on the way to Goulburn to see Susie's mum down there, driving down there, not going anywhere near the drop zone, but my brain going, oh, and my heart rate increasing, the spit in my mouth goes away, my adrenal glands like starting to like work, and then driving past going, not doing that today. So you have the
really
opposite,
interesting.
Right?
But that's really interesting of the fact that you're actually not doing it. And this is where it comes to being successful and feeling the feelings of success and feeling the feelings of failure. And you got a full body response just by driving past, even by not going there.
And not even going there, you know. And Susie asked me, she's like, why are you doing it to yourself if you're feeling like that? Because obviously you're not really enjoying it. But the truth is, I really enjoy the jumping bit. It's just the anticipation of the jump, which is what I had to get under control. And I did eventually, right? I was all good after, I don't know, 15 jumps or something. I was good. So it took a long time to get back into it. And that's a lot of times doing something and repetition and sticking with it till you actually get there. And I said to her, the reason that I'm doing it is because there's nothing on planet Earth, there's nothing else that I could possibly do or think of doing that forces me to be in the exact moment that I'm in. Everything else that I do forces me to be either in the future thinking about something or in the past remembering something that I've done. And not a single thing that I've ever done in my life has been able to sharpen my focus into the present second, like actually getting ready to get out of a plane and getting ready to do all of those things. All of that is very easy. Like the physical skills are easy. Flying a parachute's easy. Anybody could learn how to do that. But the anticipation of doing it is what sharpens your focus, and then that adrenaline and your heart rate and the physical reaction that you're having to it. And if you can take that present-minded focus to your everyday life and apply that to what it is that you're doing, I promise you'll be way more successful in your life because you're able to block out everything from the past, everything from the future, and only concentrate on the task at hand. And I believe that that's the reason why I'm able to get so much done in my day. That's the reason, for that very reason.
It's kind of like the concept of the 4-hour day, I think. Like you
focused attention on that. Yeah.
Yeah. and then everything else is blocked out. You can get things done faster. I love it.
You don't have to go skydiving to get that bullshit. Yeah, leave it aside. That's like
Yeah,
crazy
I'm not
stuff.
gonna do
Don't do that. Yeah, it's scary.
But it's and with the laser focus, it's being really clear, but it's also changing state. So I know that if I'm at home, sometimes I'm like, oh, I need to clean my room, I need to put the washing on, I need to clean the kitchen, all of this noise. I'm like, okay, just get out of the house, take your computer, get it done. Within an hour, maybe an hour and a half, if not less, everything's done because I'm laser focused on the tasks that need to get done, and they get done, and I'm like, okay, great, now I can get on with my day and do other things, or call people, or network, or whatever that looks like. Because those things are done, and when those things are done, you feel accomplished. And if you go to bed feeling accomplished for the day, magic just starts to happen every other day or every day when you wake up, because like, well, I did everything that I wanted to do yesterday. Now what do I get to play with today?
I love that. I know we're coming to the end of our thing, but I just want to put one more thing there in confidence. For myself, I have battled a little bit going up and down the weight thing with confidence. Weight gain and weight loss. And I believe it's confidence, because I tell myself that I'm not as good as I should be. So therefore I eat more, and then my weight goes up, and then it goes down when I feel a bit more confident, but it never gets down to the weight that I really want. The minute I started looking at my clothes, and this is fashion, people just disregard this as ego, but it's not. Fashion is huge. Like earrings, accessories, wardrobe. Like if you're not confident, there's no way you're going to be able to wear a bright pink dress or something like that. It's way too loud. My power color is bright pink and red. And when I wear that, I feel I'm on fire. I can walk into a networking room, it could be 100 men and not know anyone, and I'll literally walk out with 5 great contacts, because I'm able to go into that room, know who I am, share my heart, and then meet awesome people who are like-minded like me. So wardrobe is huge. And so for those of people who are listening, who are maybe feeling unconfident, shy, all the things, just know where you are today, but maybe just stretch a little. Maybe go out of your comfort zone and buy the thing that maybe you've been putting off because you haven't felt confident to wear it. Because I tell you, that one thing that you've been putting off buying is the one thing you need to be wearing to improve your confidence, and it will make you feel better today. Maybe you don't wear jewelry. Go out and buy some beautiful earrings. It will make you feel amazing, because people will say, hey, you look great today. They won't know why, but they'll see an extra little spark in your energy, and they'll pick that up and they'll give you a compliment. So get out of your comfort zone with your wardrobe. It will make you feel better. Just one step at a time. And then in a year's time, you'll look back and go, oh my goodness, I feel amazing. So that's a little tip from me.
I absolutely love what you just said. Because, and I don't know if it was before we started recording or if it was when we were recording, can't remember, because we've gone through so much deliciousness. We were talking about act as if before it happens, and how that really doesn't work, because you get to a point you're like, well, I still don't feel, then there's the imposter syndrome, and then there's all of those things. But I remember when I very first stepped into my business and going to networking events, I had my black high heels, I had my black jeans, I had a black top, I had a black jacket, blazer, and my red lipstick, which I have on today. And I walked in there because I knew my stuff. I knew my work was phenomenal, but I didn't have the confidence prior to deliver it. And so, but I knew I'd done all of the study. I did all of the work leading up until that moment. I knew my work was powerful. I'd worked with a few people. And so walking into the room, I just decided that I am that person now. I am the person now who has the confidence, who has the courage to stand up and talk to people, and who has all of the things. And I would walk out with amazing contacts, and I would end up getting clients from doing that. But first of all, you've got to know that the work that you do is phenomenal. You got to know that the work that you do is transformational, or gets a result for the client, or whatever it is that you're doing. You may not have the confidence or the courage to step out there, but who are you when you do have that, and start playing in that energy when you go to events? And when you go home, you can sit there and go, oh, I just did something. And you may have a vulnerability hangover, and that's okay. But you did the thing, and the person's going to reach out to you. And so much magic comes from that.
Yeah, it's a beautiful sentiment. I want to kind of amplify what you two ladies are both saying by just reminding people that you're so much more capable than you give yourself credit for. You don't realize that you're so much more capable physically, mentally, spiritually, intellectually, emotionally, in a relationship. You have way more capability than you realize. And you forget that because we live in such a comfortable world where everything that we need is just surrounded. We're surrounded by that. There's unlimited food. There's unlimited water. I don't want for anything. You know, what I'm really wanting for is for a gadget or something that I think will improve my life. But the reality is I've already got everything that a human being could possibly ask for. And we forget that we put these self-limiting beliefs on ourselves when we move forward. But if you unshackle yourself from those limiting beliefs, you'll have the confidence and the courage to move forward and to go and achieve incredible things. And, you know, I was in the gym the other day. I train a lot. And like you, Laura, I'm a morning person. I get out of bed early. I go to the gym. You know, I alternate. And someone asked me the other day, what are you training for? You train so hard. What are you training for? And I said, everything.
Love it.
And they're like, what does that mean? I said, I'm training for World War III. I'm training if I fall off a boat. I'm training to swim 10 kilometers if I have to get, you know, I'm shipwrecked. I'm training for everything. You know, I'm not training for anything. I'm training for everything. That's how I kind of describe it. And I was in the gym the other day, you know, kind of playing with that at about minute 45. And I'd been training really hard for 45 minutes. And I'm usually short, sharp, in and out because I'm getting a bit older. I have to train differently. I've got different chemistry in my body. It's different. And I thought to myself, what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish off with 4 sets on the rowing machine, 4 sets of 2 minutes each. And I'll finish off on the skiing machine for same thing, 4 sets, you know, on the pulling down on the skiing machine. So 8 sets to finish and I'll be right. So I went on the rowing machine. I'm at set number 3. And then someone comes to the ski machine next to me and takes that. And I was like, well, I'll just do 4 more sets here. And then I got up and I thought, well, I did 8 sets on the rowing machine. I'll do 8 sets here now. I have to make sure it's even. And then I went back to the rowing machine and did another 8 sets and back to the ski machine and did another 8 sets. And I thought, you know what? That's like only another half. Oh, why don't I just do that again? And I went again. And by the time I'd finished, I've been in the gym for 2 hours, right? Then I'd just been playing with myself, just going as hard as I could for 2 minutes at a time. And it was like a really hard workout. And it was like covered in sweat. And I walked out of the gym thinking, most workouts that I go for are half an hour to 45 minutes. I was there for 2 hours. And I feel like I really haven't even done anything. So what actually am I doing every day when I go there for 45 minutes? I think I'm only going for about 10% of what I'm capable of. I've got another 90% to go, even though I'm going as hard as I can for 45 minutes with minimal breaks. It's a really proper routine. It's really good for me. It gets me great results. But I'm really, in the scheme of things, I'm not really doing that much. And so you've got so much more within you, whether that's in business, emotion, relationship, whatever it is, there's so much more within you. And you got to find that in yourself. What is that for you? What does that look like for you as an individual? What does that look like for your partner? How does that look for your kids as well? How can you extract more out of life and actually squeeze that lemon a little bit more?
I love it. If when we leave this world, we only leave with our spirituality, our spirit, what do we got to lose?
That's it. Nothing.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. I have loved riffing with both of you so much today. Is there any last closing words around confidence and courage before we jump off?
I'll let you go.
Love yourself. Love yourself.
Yeah.
You're worth it.
Yeah, love it. I would say don't fake it till you make it. Don't do that. Develop a level of competency that gives you the confidence that you need to be courageous to take the steps you need in your life.
Love it, love it, love it. And my final words are have courage and be kind, because that changed my life. And you can be powerful and gentle. You can speak your truth and still get your message across and still have the integrity and the love behind it, even though it's your truth. And everything shifts and changes when you start becoming more of who you are.
Yeah, beautifully said. Well done.
Awesome.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
See ya. See you next time.
Bye.